I never thought a single secret could carry me through nearly 4 decades, not because it was small, but because I convinced myself it was harmless. That illusion shattered the day I finally told him. It started with a quiet evening, the kind where the house hums with ordinary life, the kettle whistles, the TV murmurs in the background, and the clock ticks like nothing could ever go wrong. I held the letter in my hand for hours, tracing the edges, my chest tight with nerves. I had never lied to him about anything serious before, and yet this felt heavier than all the small deceptions of everyday life combined. When I finally said it, my voice trembled. There's something I need to tell you. Something I've kept for 37 years. He froze mid-step, the mug in his hand trembling. I could see the confusion, a flicker of fear even. What do you mean? His voice was steady, but his eyes betrayed him. I swallowed. It's about your father. The room seemed to collapse inward. He lowered his mug, the porcelain clinking against the saucer like a tiny alarm. My father. Yes, I whispered. Back when you were a child. I was involved in something that affected your inheritance. Something I never told anyone. Not even you. He didn't move. He just stared. I thought I'd prepared myself for anger, for tears, for any number of reactions, but nothing could have braced me for the absolute stillness that settled between us. For weeks leading up to this confession, I had noticed subtle cracks in our life together. Missed calls he insisted weren't important, sudden silences when I walked into the room, his fingers tapping nervously when a text appeared on his phone. At first, I blamed myself, my paranoia twisting small moments into imagined betrayals. But in my heart I knew. Something was off, and perhaps I had been off myself, carrying this burden silently for decades. The truth spilled out slowly, reluctantly. I was involved in a company your father started before you were even born. I kept shares, significant shares worth billions now. And I never told you. I wanted to protect you from the complications, from the greed, from everything. His lips parted slightly, as if forming words he didn't know yet. Then finally he spoke. Do you know what this means? Yes, I said softly. I know. And I know I should have told you sooner. There was a long pause. I could hear my own heartbeat thudding like a drum in my ears. And then came the strangest part. He laughed. Not a cruel laugh, not mocking, not dismissive, but a laugh so full of disbelief and raw emotion that I nearly stumbled backward. You're serious, he said finally, voice shaking. All these years, and you kept this from me? I wanted to tell you, I admitted, tears brimming. Every year I thought, next year. He's not ready. I'm not ready. But I can't carry it anymore. He shook his head and a tear rolled down his cheek. You carried this for me? His voice was choked with a strange mix of awe and heartbreak. All this time, you were protecting me. From myself? I nodded, overwhelmed. I didn't want you to be tempted or hurt or confused. I thought keeping it hidden was the safest way. He reached for my hand, and I felt a tremor pass between us. Decades of unspoken fears and silent loyalty vibrating in that simple touch. You hid this for 37 years, he said softly. Not because you were selfish, because you loved me. And just like that, the weight lifted, not completely but enough to breathe again. The betrayal wasn't one of malice. It was tangled with devotion, fear, and the terrible weight of time. I realized then that some secrets aren't meant to destroy. They're meant to protect, even if imperfectly. We spent hours talking that night, unearthing memories that now stung with double meaning. Small moments that suddenly carried hidden weight. I told him everything, the decisions I'd made, the sleepless nights wondering if it was right, the fear that someday it would all come crashing down. And he listened, really listened, his presence steady and unwavering. By morning the house felt lighter. The secret was out, and with it came a strange, fragile clarity. There was no anger left in his eyes, only a deep, aching gratitude and something else, something I hadn't expected, relief. Life isn't fair, he said finally, voice quiet. But you've taught me something important. Love isn't always simple. Sometimes it's messy, tangled, and frightening. But it's also strong enough to survive mistakes, even ones hidden for decades. I smiled through my tears, my chest still heavy, but lighter than it had been in 37 years. I realized then that trust isn't erased by secrets. It's tested, reshaped, and sometimes made stronger. We didn't solve everything that night. There were still questions, still implications, still a world to navigate that had changed overnight. But for the first time in decades, I felt seen, understood, and loved, not for perfection but for truth finally shared. And as he held my hand, I knew that some confessions, no matter how late, can transform a life. Not because they erase the past, but because they illuminate it. And in that illumination, love finds its quiet, enduring strength.